Hey everybody, HK Sniper here. So this is my typical end of the year video. We'll go over a few things. I got a reenactor rant I wanted to post and go over. It's real quick. It's something kind of blunt, straight to the point, but still I thought it was worth mentioning because, to be honest, I think it's hilarious. And we'll go over what I mentioned earlier today on the community tab. So let's just jump right into this reenactor rant. It's like a reenactor short rant. So I'm not going to say where this was posted. I'm not going to say who posted this, and I'm not going to say what event it is. If you know any of those three, please refrain from commenting any specifics. I don't want to drag people and events and stuff through the mud. It's just not what we're here for when it comes to the rants. And I'm not gonna post a screenshot of it because I don't want drama essentially. But I still think it's enough to rant about because I find it's a mixture of I find it very amusing and I'm rolling my eyes at it. So there was a post made about an event in which there is going to be an adult performer, and that's in their words, an adult performer at a so-called USO show. My reaction to that is, why? Okay, I get it. A hobby, predominantly men. Uh, Predominantly manly things. We're dressing up in military uniforms. We're running around with guns. And I fully understand and know that there's plenty of things that have happened behind the scenes at reenactments. Don't get me wrong. I've seen it. But to advertise this and to make it like a talking point to come to the event, I'm just going to say what this one guy said because he nailed it. This response to this post nailed it. And it's almost like a meme format. And I kind of wouldn't mind making this into a meme at some point. But so he posted, reenactors. I want to legitimize my hobby so we can showcase history to the masses. Also, reenactors. Hey kids, want to see a stripper? That like nails it. That just nails it. We've been spending what very recently, just due to the political climate of this country shifting back and forth, and the spotlight being pulsed on reenacting, a lot of times in a negative fashion, trying to make our hobby, legitimate, and then you go and hire an adult performer and you advertise about it. And like I said, to each their own. If you want to do that, that's on you. But I only see a couple scenarios coming out of this. One, there's going to be people in there taking pictures of people, and you're going to see, depending on how the show goes, there could be some blackmail stuff going on. Two, pictures of that is going to leak out, video that's going to leak out, and next thing you know, depending on what happens at this event or what type of venue it is, they may use that against the hobby and against the event, and it's just not a good scenario. Why not keep reenacting? Has anyone ever thought about that? So I said I was going to keep it short. I'm going to end it right there. Super short. I found it both amusing and enough that I roll my eyes at it. It's nothing like I'm like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Stop it right now. I'm not there to say that. It's just, like I said, my two reactions to it is to laugh at it and roll my eyes at it. I mean, come on. And of course, it's a boomer running this thing. It's just, wow. So, let's get into sort of the end of the year type stuff. Again, this year, not a whole lot of events that I was able to attend, in large part thanks to the obvious and let's hope. I know I said this last year and probably made this exact same statement. Let's hope next year's better. I think it will be. I think that we continue to improve. Things will start shifting back to normal. And I'm hoping next year we'll shine a light on some great stuff and bring back a lot of good events. And hopefully we can replace some of the events that we permanently lost. I'm not aware of any events that shut down permanently this year, other than the ones I mentioned last year. I hope that trend continues. I hope we see some new ones pop up to replace the ones we lost. And we'll just go from there. We'll see what happens. I would love to see more timeline events, and I'm going to be absolutely biased when I say that because I want to get our Cold War guys out there. But I would love to see more timeline events, especially in our region. So let's go over this post I made earlier today in my community section of my channel. So I've been really wanting something to fill the gap between Cold War. Cold War reenacting, I love it. It is definitely a very big passion of mine right now, especially the last couple of years. But let's be realistic. There are very few events. They're few and far between. Kind of limited to timeline events, and even getting timeline events to accept us has been kind of a pain. Some events, they tell me they only accept up to Vietnam and they don't want anyone else. And other events are very open to having us. So I've been hunting really hard for just something else to do. World War II, I've really screwed it away from. I'm keeping my British kit just in case there's an event I want to do, but it's just something I don't see me doing as much as I did a few years ago. It's just worn out on me, and I just don't have that drive I used to have for that time period. So, one of my first things I try to do is I went and I mentioned a while back about how I thought about doing a rant about gatekeeping. I went back to a Roman group that I helped start up, actually, and I just left because at the time I was so busy with Cold War and World War II, I just didn't have time to do anything with them. And I felt at the time it was kind of unfair for me, especially to occupy a leadership role, to do that when I'm just so busy with other stuff in the hobby. I didn't want to give them less effort. So I went back to them and I wanted to do Roman auxiliary because a lot of their guys do Roman auxiliary. And I was told no, I couldn't do it. I had to do a legionnaire impression. And that was kind of it. Like they flat out gatekeeped me when it came to that, and I kind of was like, yeah, okay. Really don't want to spend the money on a primary impression to do a secondary impression when I'm never going to touch that primary impression. And I realized that with that, a lot of the equipment coexists. You can use it for both, but some of it is not. It's just, I don't know. I've left that out in the open forum to say, hey, if you guys change your mind, let me know, but we'll see. So, I'd been working on a RevWar impression for British Revolutionary War, and that kind of fell through. It's just the communication stopped. The Facebook group that I was in for this group just died. No one posts on it anymore. And I realized that with a couple other groups. There was even a Civil War group I kind of was looking into, and they fizzled out. And I don't know if it's just, I'm getting in touch with the wrong groups, or what the deal is. But I've tried looking at other interests. I would really like to do something blackpowder related, so RevWar, Civil War, stuff like that. But it's just, I did a lot of digging, especially this weekend, for units, and it's these guys' web pages have not been updated since like 2013, 14. Go to their Facebook pages, they're just vacant, they're dead. And I hate to say it, and I mentioned it on a group chat among other YouTube reenactors, I might have to network the old-fashioned way As in, go to an event as a spectator and talk to these people in person. And it's kind of hard to do when there's like no events, especially, I mean, not just with COVID, but right now we're in a dead of winter, and we're not, there's no events to attend to interact with these people. So, if you're listening to this, you've gotten to this point of me rambling on, and you're within the Ohio region, I'm willing to travel as long as it's reasonable. And like I said, Civil War, RevWar, I would really like to do like Hessian. I think that would be super cool. But I gotta find a group. I mean, people have asked me, why don't you just start a group? Well, I already do it with Cold War, and I don't want to, you know, hurt those guys by starting something else, and it's just too much work. Cold War is enough for me when it comes to running a unit. And they've even asked, well, why not just do it on your own? That's fine and dandy, but I hate being that awkward lone reenactor at an event. I need that group. I need some people to hang out with. I need some people to socialize with, to sit around the camp, to BS with, to make friends with. I need that type of social interaction. It's just, that's one of the big points of this hobby. So I don't want to be that awkward man out, just showing up and standing around awkwardly and trying to socialize with people. And when lone reenactors come out, it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, you're always going to be kind of shunned aside. Like, you're the, you know, you're like the hidden stepbrother of reenacting. People, they're not apt to pick you up just because not that they're unfriendly. They just don't know you, and that's what I'm after. I would really like to get involved in an active group that does plenty of events through the year that I can keep active in. I would really like to. I mean, almost 2 years now. Actually, are within 2 years of this hobby being pretty much dead, at least for me, just because of the pandemic. I really want to get out there and do stuff. So if there's anyone listening and you're interested, or you have a group that's pretty active, or you even know of a group that's pretty active, let me know. I would love to get in touch and figure something out, especially if it's within my interests. I mean, like I said, I'd love to do something blackpowder. I've even thought about doing something medieval. I think medieval would be a super cool time period to explore and reenact in. I mean, I even thought about contacting some of the Viking groups just because it's something new, it's something different. They're usually pretty active. I see them at a lot of events. But like I said, I might have to network the old-fashioned way. Face-to-face, in-person interaction. Man, in the year 2022, do people still do that? So anyway, I think I've ranted on and rambled on long enough. Hope everyone had a great Christmas and have a wonderful, safe New Year. Let's hope for 2022 to be something better. Let's just put it that way. Something to a return of normalcy. I've about had enough of this. Working the pandemic has been bad enough for me. Having it affect my hobbies is kind of a double-edged sword. So, I'm hoping for a better year when it comes to our hobby. More content coming up. I got some ideas, especially some reenactor rants. So people are really liking the reenactor reacts. Definitely going to do more of those. So have a good one, everyone. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there.